anything other than that.
I mean, you were just a little short. You were just a little short today. I mean,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm good.
Are you feeling a little insecure today? A little threatened?
About
a little
what?
thin-skinned over there? It's okay. It's okay. You get beat up every day. It's okay. How are you, Shannon?
I'm good. Are you feeling better? You got me
I'm
sick.
good.
You enjoy
I know. I infected you.
Joe up here.
I'm healed now. We're good to go.
Exactly.
Let's get started with Dak Prescott. Dak's numbers took a step back this season after throwing just 4 interceptions as a rookie. He threw 13 this past year. Former NFL quarterback Ron Jaworski said several factors could have played a role in that, including the struggles of the offensive line, a lack of explosive plays by the receivers, and Ezekiel Elliott's suspension. But he said some of the issues fall on Dak himself. Jaw said, I think Dak started to lose some confidence. When Dak loses his confidence, like all quarterbacks, you lose a little bit. You're not willing to pull that trigger. I've always felt year 2 defenses now have studied you year 1. They know everything that you do. They've got 30 guys in the corner watching the tape, and they're going to make you play your weakness. And they forced Dak to do some things he was not comfortable doing. He did not play as well as he can play, but I know the guy has God-given talent to be a terrific quarterback. Shannon, do you agree?
No, I don't believe Dak Prescott. And knowing him and talking to him the little bit that I have, Skip, I don't think Dak Prescott lost any confidence. I think he lost confidence in the guys around him when he see they couldn't make the plays that he expected them to make, especially from the previous year. You mentioned it, Cole Beasley. He was not the same Dak's rookie year as he was last year.
What happened to it? Where what? Cole, did he play last year? Seriously.
He did. And now you really could call him Beasley.
Yeah.
Dez is a shell of himself. He's not that guy that commanded that big contract. He has not fulfilled his obligation living up to that contract. I love Jason Witten. He played positions that I played for a number of years, Skip.
Yeah.
But he's not that guy that's going to change the game. He's not a Gronk. He's not Kelsey. He's not He's not that guy. Will he move the sticks? Absolutely.
Will he run after catch?
Probably
not.
And here's the thing. They built this team around Zeke because when Tony Romo had his greatest season and the Cowboys looked like a Super Bowl contending team, 2014, DeMarco Murray rushed for over 1,800 yards. Tony Romo was second in the MVP voting. And this is, okay, moving forward, this is what we're going to do. So what do? They go out and get Ezekiel Elliott. You know, they're expecting Tony Romo to play. Dak comes in. He plays unbelievable. Skip, yeah, the offensive line did not play as well. They got, 3 of the top 25 players. Not offensive linemen. Their offensive line, 3 of those players are top 25 players, according to the Pro Football Focus. And what happened is Dak, I don't think Dak lost confidence, Skip. I thought he tried to press too much. He tried to do things. He tried to force balls. Because he's like, I got to make this play. I don't have Zeke. I got to make this play. And then when the guys didn't make the plays for him, now all of a sudden he's pressing even more. Skip, in Atlanta, okay, the guy gets 3 sacks. At what point in time do you say, you know what, Jason, you're not going to be able to get out, or you're going to have to chip your way out, or we're going to have to slide the line that way? You don't do it at 3 sacks. You don't do it at 4. You don't do it at 5. You do it at 6. Well, the game is over then.
Yep.
I just think the thing is, Skip, is that they didn't do Dak a very good, and I believe Dak moving forward, he learned a lot this year, Skip. I believe Dak will be that guy. But when you have a young guy and you're a run-dependent football team and they remove that piece, guys around you have to make plays. I remember when John Elway would go out and Bubby would come in or backup would come in. Ed Ross, we got to step our play up. That's not John throwing us the ball, that's putting the ball where we need to turn and make plays with it. We got to make tough catches.
Yep.
Well, the Cowboys this year, Skip, they didn't make tough catches. Who on the offensive side, with the exception of Zeke Elliott, puts fear in you? They're not worried about you taking the top off. Dad's not going anywhere. Jason Witten's not going to beat anybody down the seam. Terrence Williams hit a miss. They didn't play Bryce Butler a whole lot. So what was Dak supposed to do? But I do believe moving forward, he will gain confidence. He will go back into the lab, which is film study, and he'll see what they did because that's what they do. We make you play to your weakness. But the really great ones, they reinvent themselves every year. You don't think they try to make Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers play to their weakness? Absolutely. But I'm going to play to my strength. And I believe Dak will do that moving forward.
So, I am greatly amused by everything you just said because I pretty much agree with everything you just said. But
I still gave him an F.
You gave him an F at the end of the year.
I sure
so,
did.
Joy, did you just hear everything he just said?
Yep.
That he gave him an F
Yeah.
despite all those things. So I'm going to suggest to you that you sometimes fall into the trap that I try to avoid. And that trap is the longer you do this job, which is not playing football, it's talking about football, that you have to be somewhat careful to keep an arm's length from the people you talk about. Because if you tend to get close to them, which we're all human, and if you get in their force field, you tend to get sucked into their force field, and you start thinking, oh, Dak's a really good guy, and maybe I was a little hard on him. So you've seen Dak at the last two Super Bowls, right? And you happen to be on a flight back to, I guess, to L.A.
L.A., yeah.
That troubles me that Dak was flying back from the Super Bowl to Los Angeles, not to Dallas, but to Los Angeles. Is that correct?
It should concern you that he was flying back at all on Super Bowl Sunday, because he should have been in the game.
Oh, he should have been in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll accept that. Touche. But you soften a little bit because you're around the guy, and he is a good guy. By all accounts, everybody who's been around him says he's quality, he's class, he's solid, he's built to the right stuff that you can build around.
Right.
Okay, so the next point of amusement for me is that we have pinned this topic on my man, Ron Jaworski, who I knew very well in my days at ESPN, but I knew him all the way back to his days with the Los Angeles Rams, the first go-around when he was the Polish Rifle, a second-round draft pick out of Youngstown State, who had a big arm and a huge mouth. And he still can talk, and yet he now bleeds green because, as we all know, he did quarterback the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl appearance, Super Bowl 15, back after the 1980 season. They lost that one to the Raiders. But Ron still lives in the Philadelphia area, and he still is a co-owner of the Philadelphia Soul Arena League team, and he is an ambassador for the Philadelphia Eagles, who just obviously won this year's Super Bowl.
Right.
So he's now speaking about the arch-rival Dallas Cowboys, trying to put their quarterback in perspective, and he says he lost some confidence. Well, this is where you and I do part ways. I do think Dak lost some confidence. But before I launch into that, I must launch into this. Speaking of Dak being on your flight back to Los Angeles, what troubles me the most right here, right now, and I'm going to say this publicly and I'm going to stand by it, what troubles me the most to the point of scaring me the most about Dak Prescott as he enters year 3 in the NFL, he's got way too many national endorsements. And it is horrifying to me that he had sort of a sophomore slump year, and I'll get into all the reasons why. You detailed a bunch of them. It wasn't all his fault, but he did not play as well as he did his rookie year. And yet, all of a sudden, I'm looking at 12 national ads that he has. I'll just whip through them real quick. New Era Beats, Campbell's, Tostitas, Pepsi, 7-Eleven, Nicholas Air, which is a private jet company, AT&T, DirecTV, Panini Playing Cards, Dan and Yogurt, which you got from Cam, as you remember, over that controversy, and Adidas. I just hit 12 national ads that Dak Prescott does coming off a no playoff year.
But think about this, Skip. How many of those are also sponsors of the Cowboys?
Probably a lot of them, and yet I didn't even get into his local ads. I'm doing national TV ads, and I'm just going to guess that he was on your flight back to L.A. to do some taping of some commercial. Is that possible? I don't know that for a fact, but to make some sort of appearance, right?
Let your boy get some of them beats in that Campbell soup.
Well, hey, okay, again, but I'm good with all this as long as you can earn it first. You know, you got to live up first, and then you should enjoy the riches of your success.
Right.
Okay?
So you'd like to see him study more, do less ads, and once they start winning consistently, challenging for Super Bowls, have at it.
That first year, he came out of nowhere, obviously, as a 4th-round draft choice out of Mississippi State, overlooked, underappreciated. I didn't think a whole lot about it. I loved him for that year, his junior year at Mississippi State, but I wrote him off. He wasn't even in my consciousness until that 3rd preseason game win against the Rams here at the Coliseum.
Right.
He lit it up, and that's when our man Eric Dickerson said he was on the sideline saying, who is that, and what is he doing? And you could just see the poise, the presence, the command. Romo goes down, and the rest is first-year history.
Correct.
I still say he had the best rookie season of any quarterback ever. I think it's inarguable, but he's got nothing to show for it because they did lose the home playoff game Whatever happened, he played great in the game, but they lost the game. So now he has played in one playoff game in his life, and he lost the one playoff game. And for a myriad of reasons, they were pretty awful last year. And they lived down to expectations last year. And now he's doing all those ads. This is Super Bowl quarterback winning sort of ads. And that happens when you are the quarterback of America's team. Am I right?
You're right.
So I'm scared about that going into his third year because I'm not sure the focus is exactly where it should be. And is he out there throwing day after day to Des Bryant? I don't think they're that close. I know they put on a good game face publicly and say all the right things about we love each other, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they love each other. I don't think either is really committed at this point to refiguring out how to reestablish a wavelength. I don't know if Des is going to be with the team. I hope he is not with the team. But as you concur, last year he went from a strength to a liability, right? Mm-hmm. He couldn't separate from single coverage last year, and that hurt that quarterback the most.
Right.
That offensive line, I'm sorry, it underachieved dramatically last year. It was a shell of what I thought it would be, and Dak's sacks didn't go up dramatically, but they went from 25 up to 32, and it seemed like he got sacked 20 times at Atlanta.
Well, he gave up 8 in one game.
That's what I'm saying, okay? But it seemed like even more than 8. And you know and I know, if you get blindside sacked enough times, you'll lose some confidence because it doesn't feel great, man. You keep getting knocked down when you can't see it coming.
Skip, the reason why I say they didn't lose confidence is because think about this. Now, he came in with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. He sees these guys having great seasons. He sees the playmakers around him. Todd Gurley was Zeke Elliott rookie year. That's what he sees. That's what he sees. Okay. He sees Alshon Jefferson, Alshon going over the top.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, hold on. Dad, do you see what Alshon's doing? Do you see what Robert Woods? Do you see what Sammy Watkins is doing?
Okay.
Hold on. What about the offensive play calling? Do you see the plays Sean McVay and Doug Peterson's calling? Whoa, where's my dad at? So now I got confidence in me, but I'm throwing guys that I can't get separation.
Okay, I told you off Carson Wentz's first year, I thought he was not very good.
Right.
And Howie Roseman, that GM, went out and got him not one but 2 new running backs.
Yep.
And he went out and got him 2 new receivers who were really good to pair up with the one that he did have.
Absolutely.
So they had 3.
Yep.
And that offensive line, I know Jason Peters used to be really good, but Big V, when they stuck him over there, it started to click. And I'm not sure there was a better offensive line in football over the last few games than the Eagles.
I'll give you that.
They protected him at a high level.
Yes.
And obviously the defense was already pretty loaded anyway. And I'm not saying it's an all-time great, but it was pretty good. All these things benefited Carson Wentz, and then they continued to benefit, obviously, Nick Foles.
And you look at the Rams, Skip. Look at Jared Goff, and for all indication, people thought like, oh man, this dude a bust. Little do we know they get Sean McVay and his creative genius and Todd Gurley's offensive player of the year. And look at the way that offense was moving. Finished last in points last year before. Now they're first or second in points. And Dak is looking at that. Hold on, these guys, I was better than these. I was rookie of the year.
He was.
Not them.
But Doug Peterson emerged last year as a play caller.
Yes.
And on the national stage, he had a coming out party. He's been around for a long time.
Yes.
Nobody really knew it. But he was the driving force of that offense because he didn't just do it with Carson Wentz. He kept doing it with Nick Foles at an even higher level.
Has anybody ever had 2 better games calling than the championship and the Super Bowl that Doug Peterson had?
And Scott Linehan did not have a very good year. And I've never been a big Jason Garrett fan. Again, I know him, so I like him personally. We're back to falling into that trap. I just have never loved him as a head coach. I wish they would cut bait and change the scenery, change the voice in the locker room, because he's just Coach Clap. That's all he does is clap and he butt slaps. You know, he's really good at that, and that's about it. And he keeps doing the same thing every day over and over and over again, and it doesn't jumpstart the football team. There's no fire and edge to this football team when it needs to get jump-started. Cole Beasley completely disappeared because Dez was getting single covered and he was suddenly getting doubled inside. And they just took the security blanket away. Jason Witten scares nobody, to your point. He's very good, but he's not a threat to hurt
Down
you.
the field, nope.
Nope. And Terrence Williams had an off year given the money that they gave him, which is why Bryce Butler sat right here and said it's all about the money. You know, you got to follow the money. He's not getting the money, Bryce Butler. He was the only threat they had, and he didn't play enough. And the defense missed Sean Lee for 6 games, and you can laugh at me all you want, but I can show you the 6 games he didn't play that they suffered, especially they collapsed in the second half. Obviously, Zeke missed 6 games, and yet when you say the team is built around the run game, here's the shocking stat about last year's Cowboys. They were still second in the NFL in rushing, second overall to Jacksonville. Well, wouldn't you say that's pretty good?
But all rush yards are not created equal. Zeke instills fear.
He does.
And because they have nobody to take the top off, if you look at Philly, you can't just sit there and say, okay, we're going to stop LeGarrette Blount. We're going to stop this run and Jay Ajayi, because they'll throw the ball over the top of your head.
They will.
Well, you can't just sit in there and say, okay, we're going to stop Todd Gurley, because they'll throw the ball over your head to Woods and Watkins.
Yeah.
Well, because the Cowboys do not have anybody that can get over the top, the majority of the defense is in the box. We're not going to let you run the ball, Zeke. I mean, Cowboys.
Yeah.
And we do not believe Dez Bryant can get behind us. We do not believe Terrence Williams can consistently get behind us.
Because they know they can't.
Okay, so
it's not even a belief. It's like, we know they can't. We dare you.
Yeah. Because so Dak is like, hold on. I know I can throw this ball. You heard him say it, Skip. I guess I got to put the ball in his face mask to make sure he catches it.
That's a strong statement, but it's an accurate one.
I throw it to him, he drops it.
Yep.
I throw it in his direction, it gets picked off. So what am I supposed to do? But you keep instructing me, and my reads tell me they drop this guy down in the box. Dez got one-on-one coverage. Regardless, if he's your number 1 receiver, I don't care who's on him. He's supposed to get the ball because he's the guy. He's making the money. So Dak is like, well, wait a minute. Y'all looking at me sideways. What about this guy? You give me nobody that can get down the field in a hurry.
So did I see Dak during that losing stretch in there, Atlanta and the Chargers and Philly?
Yes.
Did I see him lose some confidence? Yeah, I did. My eye test says he was starting to force it. He's starting to look a little desperate. He's starting to lose a little pocket poise. He's human, man. He's got nothing to work with. That's what I kept saying.
But who is he forcing it to, Skip? He said, because Dez can still do it. Dez is telling you he can still do it.
Yeah.
And so, and the reason, because here's the thing. Dez caught so many jump balls, the 50-50 balls that Romo would give him an opportunity to. But age and attrition, the knee injury, the ankle injury, has taken its toll on Dez's body.
No doubt.
So now he's not as talented, explosive as he once was. So now he's just a guy. So the 50-50 balls, they get knocked down or they get picked.
Okay.
So what's that? Dak's like, what am I supposed to do? You keep telling me to throw it to him.
Despite all that, and you did give him an F for the season,
Yeah,
Dak Prescott, his QBR, again, scaled 0 to 100, it fell from 3rd in the league his rookie year to 4th last year. And that's an F?
Yeah.
I don't think that's an F.
What about the wins?
But, well, by the way, if we do that, I'll go you one better on QBR.
Okay.
If we do only the quarterbacks who played 600 or more plays, that's going to eliminate walk it to him Wentz, and it's going to eliminate Case Keenum because they didn't play the whole year.
Yeah.
If we just do quarterbacks who played the whole year, it's Tom Brady number 1 in QBR and Dak Prescott number 2 in QBR. So don't give me F. That's not an F season.
Okay, how about this, Skip? You keep telling me he only dropped a little bit down in QBR. Can you tell me about that win total? What about the completion percentage?
Yep, it fell. Confidence fell. But the turning point games, I'm going to show you again, were the 2 games after they went 2-1 in their first 3 games, which included the debacle at Denver, which was a bad sign. I should have known it. You should know going forward, if you see a team that you picked before the year in game number 2 get annihilated, unless it's New England and Tom Brady, because they're built differently. Their psyche is different. They need that kind of a game. This team lost its edge and its confidence at Denver. It left whatever it had in 2016 on the field, thanks to Trevor Siemian and the Denver defense and those pick sixes. And it was that kind of day that they never quite recovered from. But they did go to Arizona on Monday night, the next game, and they won, thanks to Dak Prescott. And then they get 2 home games against a Rams team that we didn't know was that great yet, and Aaron Rodgers. Back-to-back home games. Dak didn't play well in those games. He played great in both games, both of them. He had a QBR of 78 in the first one, threw 3 touchdowns, and had a QBR of 97 in the second game against Aaron Rodgers and threw 3 more touchdown passes. Zeke played in both games. So to your point, they had Zeke, and he had 85 yards rushing, and then he had 116 yards rushing. So it was enough. So the formula is there, and they have nice, comfortable halftime leads in both games, and they get the doors blown off them in the second half. Sean Lee didn't play in either game. And that's really the end of the year. From there, they're just desperate. They're scrambling. They're trying to make it up on the fly, fix it on the fly. The offensive line is wrecked usually with Ty Smith is injured, and that's a big concern going forward. I don't know if they're going to have Ty Smith. I don't know.
I told you limping it. I said Skip that back.
He limped in and he limped out. He did.
Joe, you see what Skip does? Skip, like, he wants to come to class every day and get an A just for showing up. That ain't how I do it, Skip Bayless. Now, you can have all the confidence in the world. Oh, I'm going to ace this test and still get a failing grade.
But I showed up for class every day, and I aced every test.
Me
so
too.
how are you going to beat that?
I showed up every day too, Skip, because you know.
That's where the girls were.
Yeah, they going to get their homework. They gonna get.
But you didn't apply yourself.
I did.
You didn't always apply yourself.
I didn't. I did once I got to college.
Like, when you finally figured it out, you said, hey, wait a second, I better do this.
I mean, in high school, come on, Skip. Apply myself, you don't know it.
You cruised through?
I had me a nice little briefcase. I show up to school with slacks on and
See, Joy, he knows now he has to apply himself.
Oh, yeah.
Every night he has to do all his homework or he will get exposed.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now you're studying?
Now he's studying.
I study more now than I have in 8 years of high school and college.
Yeah, and it shows.
How worried should the Colts be about the future of Andrew Luck? We'll discuss that next.